Hi there, this is Wes Moss with Money Matters Stories from the Financial Frontline. So these are real life issues that I know families face all the time. The question of the day, should you sell your house when you're about to retire to buy another house? Maybe use the equity in the first house so that you're mortgage free. That is a combination or a strategy that I love to see. Happy retirees have no mortgage. But you run into a lot of issues when it comes to doing that transaction. So today's story is about a friend of the family that we call Tidy Up Tessa, someone that I've helped through this very conversation. So think about this. You're ready to sell your house, but and the market's great, so you can get a lot of money for your house. Guess what? You've also got to buy a house in that same hot housing market. So it's maybe not as easy of a transaction as you'd like it to be. In order to be able to do what I love to see, which is be able to be mortgage free in retirement, my research has shown that happy retirees are 5 times more likely to have their mortgage pay off within sight relative to unhappy retirees. So it's a big deal to be able to do. But it's not always possible, particularly in a hot housing market, unless you're ready to move geographically or make a big move. Let's say you live inside the city limits in your particular city, whether it's Atlanta or Austin or somewhere in the Midwest, where you get a lot of money for your house. Then you have to move, let's call it way north or way south or way east in order to find a similar house for a lot less. Take out your equity and then end up buying a new property with no mortgage. But for a lot of folks, you may just not want to do that. You may want to stay close to where you are. And the story today of Tidy Up Tessa helps think through some of the other variables that are maybe not just exactly financial in order to make the decision. So let's assume you want to stay close by to where you live, within a mile or two or a smaller radius. Well, it means then that you're not going to get a lot of differential in the housing market price if you want to stay in a similarly priced home. Hot housing market, selling, great, but you also got to buy in a hot housing market. Same thing in a depressed housing market. Maybe you don't get a lot for your home when you sell, but so that's not good news, but the good news is when you're buying, you can buy for cheaper. Either way, a lot of times your housing price remains relatively agnostic. So what are the other areas that'll help you make that decision? Enter the story of Tidy Up Tessa. So this is a true story of someone who lost her husband. She's in her mid-50s and really thinking about early retirement, and for a while now has been thinking, I'd maybe like to get a fresh start. I'd maybe like to leave the house that I've been in for over 2 decades. My late husband lived here with me, and it's just not the same. Maybe I need a fresh start. Maybe I need to move to a neighborhood even a couple miles away. But there was a lot of reservation on her part. Is it the right time to do that? Would she regret selling the house? And maybe you're thinking about the same thing. Maybe we would regret selling this house. So we went back and forth, and we figured that where she was trying to move was effectively the same kind of price she would pay for the kind of house she wanted. And so the conversation became less about the finances of it and more about the life. Well, is it the right move for her? And here's what I said. Go ahead and get the house ready. You've been in this house for over 2 decades. Get the house ready to sell and go ahead and list it. Doesn't mean you have to sell the house. So she took about a month. And if you've been in a house for a long time, if you've ever done this, you can relate to how cluttered and full your house gets over a long period of time. It can happen over the course of a couple of years, let alone 25 years like Tessa was facing. So it took about a month to really declutter or tidy up the house. Cleaned out the 3rd floor, cleaned out the basement, the main floors. Let's declutter everything and even stage it for getting ready to sell. That took a while. She listed it, and around the weekend that she listed it, she walked through during the first open house and saw people coming to see her house, and there was all this interest. Oh, this is a great place, and really got nervous and said, wait a minute, I love this house. I love it in its decluttered state. It looks like a brand new house now, and it feels like home again. And that weekend, right after the first open house, she realized that she didn't want to let it go. And she took it off the market. So she went through a lot of work to get ready to sell, ultimately decided not to do it. But I think that exercise is exactly what helped her understand and make the decision that she now knows in her gut was the right decision. It's to not sell. So of course there's this famous show now, or very popular show on Netflix about the magic of tidying up. But in real life, this is what Tessa did. She tidied up her house, and she realized that it was the best interest for her to stay, because with a little polish, her home was kind of new again, and she was so happy to stay put. Now, I don't know if she's going to stay put for 3 years or 5 years or forever, but for now, it's the right decision for her. So if you're thinking about doing the same thing and you're struggling whether you should sell your house to go buy another one, whether it's close by or geographically far away, maybe go through this exercise. Tidy up the house, get it ready to show. Maybe what you think is old is new again. With a little polish, you might love your home again, and it'll help you make a critical real estate decision in your life.